People deluded, I'm back again. Got the two legends, DJB and Kenny Ken. How you doing, fellas? Everything good?
Yeah,
all good, mate. All good. Just need to turn the volume down.
I had a little cheeky little day off today, so managed to get a few things done and
pick the right day for it.
Yeah, it was hot. So I've done a little bit of a late spring cleaning and just kept myself a little bit busy and kept an eye on the fixtures. Obviously, sort of took all them in and it was all good, man. All good. Nice to be here, DG. Thank you very much.
No, thank you for tuning in. Mods, please post DJB's YouTube channel and let's get on that. Make sure you're subscribing. DJB touched on it and I'm sure you lot have read it. You've been speaking about it. I defo have. Let's talk about the fixtures, man. Like, that's the only exciting thing with Arsenal right now. We ain't signed any players. I'm sure you lot have seen the first 6 games. What do you lot make of it?
Well, how I look at it, DG, I mean, I every season I get asked the same question and I look at it like this. I never really kind of analyse who we play, when we play them. The bottom line is we're Arsenal football team. So it doesn't matter when we play them, whether we play, the top teams at the start of the season, whether we play them at Christmas time, whether we play them at the end of the season. The simple fact is we have to beat them no matter when we play them. The fact that we got Man United away on the first game of the season is no different to having any team first game of the season. It's just the profile and the fixtures got history behind it. But the bottom line is we have to win. We have to win. And the pressure we're under going into the new season is probably more intense than what it's been for many, many years. So the good thing about that fixture list is if you do drop points, you have got like a gap where you can recover. Because if you're playing like the likes of Man United, sort of April, you've got to go to Liverpool sort of round about March, April, May time. And we never do well at Anfield anyway. So
this has to be the year we win at Anfield, please.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm trying to say is you don't really want them fixtures piling up at the end of the season if you're chasing the Premiership title. So
Facts.
for me, I'm quite obviously excited that the season's going to obviously start. I can't wait for the season to start, to be honest with you.
You say that now.
I'm not excited over what we've done so far as business-wise, players coming in. Everyone knows my view on the manager. So on that side of the things, I'm a little bit worried about it next season. But no, for me, listen, we play Man United the first game of the season. It'll be a fantastic opening game of the season, I'm sure. Man United will be looking forward to it. We'll be looking forward to it. But the fact remains is it doesn't matter when you play them. You can play them first week, second week, week 10.
Everyone plays each other twice. It's a beautiful thing about the league.
Exactly. And you play all the teams twice. Every game now is a must-win game. And this is what this manager has kind of put us at. Because he talks about don't accept second best. He then, says about the standards, finishing second and getting to a Champions League semi-final. In a lot of fans' eyes, it's the best
team in the champs as well, DJ.
Yeah, it's the best we've ever been. So
goosebumps about transfers, market, and that.
Exactly, but the bar has been raised now. The bar has been raised by the manager in people's thinking. So the bottom line is we have to go into every game and win it. We can't afford to drop points. We can't have 13, 14 draws next season. You can't lose games at home against teams that you should be winning. And that's how it is now. That's how it is now. Every game this guy's going to be under scrutiny. Every game is pressured. So for me, bring it on. Whether you play Man United now, Liverpool in September, just bring it on. Bring it on. It's meaty though. I'll give it that. It's a meaty start to the season. It really is. But
I mean, before I ask Kenny Ken, not his thoughts. Yeah, I just want to ask you, D, because you keep mentioning it, kind of alluding to it, and I think you're bang on the money. That there is pressure. There's pressure to deliver. We finish in second. Arteta has been very bullish. So, like, obviously, God forbid, we'd all love to win every game in the Premier League, but can you see it potentially turning ugly very quickly, especially in these 10 games? Then,
yeah, because Anfield, we never win at Anfield.
That needs to change.
Newcastle's going to be a tough game. Man United, first game of the season, they're going to have new signings. They'll want to impress. See, Man United are going to be a funny team next year, and I'll tell you for why. Because
1 game a week.
Their expectations next season is just to better themselves of what they did this season. So for them, they're not looking at winning Premier Leagues, and the fans are not. The fans are just looking for an improvement. So if they can get off to a good start and sort of be sniffing around Europa League places, have a good run in the FA Cup, that is an improvement. That is progression under this manager from last season. It's not where they want to be eventually. We get that because they're Man United. They've got to win titles. They've got to win Champions Leagues. We know that. But at the moment, it's just little baby steps for them. So for them to start with 3 points against Arsenal could potentially give them the confidence going forward into the season. So that's going to be tough. Leeds at home, any new team promoted, first away game for them, first big club away game for them. They're going to be up for it, and they're
going to be fearless.
Yeah, they're going to bring thousands. They've got nothing to lose, because if you look at Leeds United, if they drop 3 points there, second game of the season, that's not going to hurt them in their survival in the Premiership. So they're going to go all out. They're going to go all out with that one. So that's going to be tough. Newcastle's tough. Liverpool, we know, is going to be really, really tough. So potentially there, we could be looking at 7 points. And I know it hurts. I know it hurts a lot of fans, me saying it.
God forbid.
From a football side of things, we could be potentially looking at 7 points in those first games. If this manager doesn't pull his finger out and do the right thing, we could only be looking at 7 points going into sort of, middle of September. And that, to me, is pretty much...
It's diabolical.
Yeah, it's pretty much an uphill task right from the start.
I hear you. Kenny, me and you have been talking about this on WhatsApp. As you said, the thing in showbiz or something along the line, save it to the show. What's your thoughts on the first 6 games and everything, man?
Well, first and foremost, it's not the first time we played Man United the first game of the season. I remember a game in 1986.
Yeah.
We beat 1-0. Charlie Nicholas scored the goal. God. August 1986. And I remember 3 years later, we played Man United when we just won the league and they smashed us 4-1 at Old Trafford. The Michael Knighton was allegedly trying to buy the club. Problem is he didn't have the money. The thing about the fixture list is that, everyone talks about how it's going to be, how unfair it is and how the Premier League have done Arsenal. Let me tell you something now. I know for a fact.
Professional victims, them sort of people.
No, I'm not even criticising our fans or criticising our club. All clubs are consulted about when to have these fixtures. I can tell you that for a fact. Arsenal would have been consulted. Everyone's been consulted. If you look at like some clubs don't want fixtures, hard fixtures after European games. The fixtures ain't the issue with clubs and how they've been spaced out. They don't care. The reason why they don't complain about these fixtures because they already get consulted about what they would like for the Premier League. So the Premier League do it in conjunction with the clubs. It's a fact. The problem clubs have is when the TV companies get involved. Jurgen Klopp and his 12:30 kickoffs didn't like them, did he? Well, all those where they don't move games for the TV. So that's probably where the situation lies. One thing you have to talk about Arsenal as well. Arsenal haven't got a problem raising their game for the alleged big clubs. They know they need to be up at it against Liverpool, home or away. Same with Man City at home. Same with Newcastle away. And Man United, despite Man United's sort of fall from grace, alleged falls from grace, they've always raised their game against the big boys. So Arsenal fans go in there with their toffee noses, thinking, "Oh yeah, we're going to go Old Trafford. We're going to beat them." Just lay low. Just keep quiet. Shut up. You know, big 75,000 fans. They're going to just let Arsenal come and beat them. And I don't think so. You know, Amorim's second season, he needs to get it right. I mean, all these people who talk about, oh yeah, Man United and certain clubs being washed. What's this shit? Do people use wash? What's this expression? What's it? Shower? Bath? Running your tap on the
like rubbed, like has been.
Yeah,
like past it.
What's that nonsense? What's that nonsense? The only wash I know is a shower or a bath or washing my hands, or probably washing my vegetables. Stop using these silly words when you talk about football. Talk like men you speak about football. But saying that, let me tell you something now. And I said it yesterday. DJB's a witness to it. There's a thing called deprogramming when it comes to whether Arteta be under pressure. He may be under pressure. People may talk about the situation. We'll talk about it's not winning trophies. But the people who support him will need some sort of deprogramming him. Because if we finish outside the top two next season, the first thing they're going to say is, well, look what he's done for the club. Look how we challenged under him. Look how we improved under him. That narrative is still going to be strong.
That's surely running out, though, Kenny, man.
No, I don't think so. It takes special deprogramming. Maybe an electric shock treatment. I don't know. But the fact is that these guys are deeply entrenched in their belief that Mikel Arteta is a guy who's going to improve things. And we
hope he can.
But the fixtures is what it is. Arsenal know that what they need to do. Arsenal are an experienced side. They're difficult to beat. There's no good worrying about who we play. One game at a time. That's how you win leagues. One game at a time. The season doesn't finish at the end of September, but the pressure starts. But Arsenal need what to do. They know that there's no margin for error mentally. They have to win the league. They have to win a trophy. They don't win anything, then the questions start. But I can tell you one thing: it's going to take more than Arsenal winning anything next season for the Arteta disciples or apostles for them to change their mind. Like I said, electric shock treatment won't even work. It's proper deprogramming, tough love. That's what they're going to need.
You're seeing the club outwardly, man, whether you like the guy or not, just seeing everything for where it is, if I'm honest. Arsenal are just a spicy Spurs. I can't agree with the username, but he said Man U draw, Leeds W, Liverpool L, Forest W, Man City L, Newcastle L. I want to ask you lot, win, draw, lose from all of these games, starting with Man United. I'm going with a W. Where do you lot see it?
Draw.
Fair. Kenny?
I think it'd be a draw as well, because the reason is that
be a bit more optimistic, guys. The first game of the season, man.
Be optimistic. The fact is that it's not putting down Arsenal. You've got to remember, regardless of whether people use these,
be realistic.
Whatever you say about Man United, they're still a massive club. It's still a hard place to go. We beat Man United not last season, the season before, when they rested all their best players. They wanted to save themselves for the cup final. We don't do well at Old Trafford traditionally. We just don't.
We haven't done well against Man United recently, though, under this manager. To be honest, we struggled in the FA Cup to break them down. We struggled when we went near under this manager. This Amorim knows how to play against Arteta. He's done it. He's done it on a few occasions. He's frustrated him, and this is what I'm trying to say to people. People say, "Oh, you've got it in for him," blah, 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 blah. No, you look at the bigger picture. Don't look at the league position. Don't look at the Champions League semi-final. Look at what this man does in game management in big moments, in games where you need the 3 points, in games where you need to get to a final, in games where you need to get over the line. The manager is found wanting, and he doesn't learn from his mistakes, and that's the reason why I'm saying a draw, because Man United will make it awkward for us. They'll have a packed stadium, and they will make it very, very awkward for us. They'll have new signings in the door that will want to impress. Hopefully, we'll have new signings. So, you know, and don't be surprised if Arteta doesn't change his way of playing, because he will play the same way. He will go there very cautiously. He ain't going to go there all gun-ho. It'll be slow, tappy build-up, sideways passing, and Man United will just sit back and hit us on the break. So I think 1-1. I think that's a 1-1 draw all day long. That definitely.
So you got 2 draws from both of you. I'm going with a W. I think you lot are both saying facts. I just want to beat Man United, man. I've got a lot of friends that support Man United. They're the kings and queens of doing that. Yeah, fuck that. I can't lose that to them.
Yeah,
Leeds.
Hey, DG. It's not about you. It's not about you and your rival and your mates. Our rivals are Spurs. Just remember that.
This guy. Where are you at with Leeds?
This
guy, man.
In your life. When you do,
I believe we're gonna beat Man United, man. We've had their number, their shit, man. They finished 15th. Fuck Man United, we're winning that. We're winning that. Fuck it, fuck all of that. We're winning that.
Don't go. The fact is, we are one of the reasons why we're hardest to beat is because we go there to every game prepared for every eventuality. That is what this guy's good at. He's not exactly great at playing attractive football. Well, one thing he's very good at is he makes our team a team that won't take nonsense from anyone. That you have to play.
Havertz is scoring a header. We'll be all right, man.
No, he does make life difficult for teams to beat us. And as Kenny said, we are prepared. Leeds at home, I've got to go for a home win. First home game of the season. Although Leeds will give us a good game, I think they'll be a bit naive. I think they'll be a bit overexcited, and we'll just pick them off. I'm going for a home win against Leeds.
I'm going for a Leeds draw, man. Like me and Kenny were talking on WhatsApp, and he made a good point in that. Well, anyone would know Arsenal, the big games haven't quote unquote been our issue. It's probably been the games that on paper you should be winning and they shouldn't give it much thought. That's where I'm now a bit, and especially because it's at home. If we played at Ellen Road, as difficult as that is, I'd be a lot more like, yeah, we're winning. This is where the banana skin comes into it. So for me, I'm going to I'm going to say a draw.
You know what? You've got a very good point there, because we've seen over the last few years that it's actually not. Well, last season's the litmus test, really, and proof that if you do an experiment of what is actually your hardest games, we found last season are actually harder games. There's actually teams that weren't in the traditional top 6 that came over and they played probably their best performances. You can't say that Bournemouth's best performance was at Highbury, and it's not just even teams that have taken just a point from us. They've played out their skins, and that's the thing. We haven't mastered the ability to break down teams who just come there just to nick something, nick a win.
The low blocks, deep blocks, and all that.
And I don't see that changing. That's probably why he wants someone like Zubimendi, regardless of whether you don't think he's that great or not. They want someone who could just sort of open up that door. But I say we should still win it, but you'll be angry, you'll suffer a lot, you'll be annoyed during the game. I mean, if you're not at the game or you're at the game and you've got your little phone across on you, you'll be texting, bitching about the players and bitching about the manager.
It won't be pretty. It won't be an easy win.
Well, that's the first 10 games of a season anyway.
Be an easy win. It'll be similar to when we beat Nottingham Forest early in the season.
It won't be pretty.
It'll be like a 2-1, 2-0. It won't be pretty. But I just think we'll be a little bit too strong for them.
I hope so.
Yeah. Liverpool away, nothing. First,
we've got a good top 6 record though.
No, we ain't beating Liverpool.
That hasn't stood us in good stead though. Like I think with Liverpool, one thing with Liverpool is that they don't do enough to put us to sword to Anfield. You look at the last 2 performances. In essence, last season, this season just gone, they should have smashed us out of sight, but they were on the beach, 2-0 up, and they thought the game was won, and that let us in. Last season, when we drew 1-1, we went a goal up, but after that, you think about the chance that Trent Alexander missed when he hit the bar. Yeah, that's one thing Liverpool haven't done against us. Surviving, especially at Anfield, they've let us off the hook quite a bit at Anfield. Don't get me wrong, we let them off the hook in 2023, but Anfield, we just can't win there. We can't win it.
I think they'll be ruthless this season.
Yeah. Well, they have to, because with Man City and us challenging them, they can't afford to drop points either.
No, I think so. I've got 3 points. I've got 4 points so far for my first game.
Saying that, guys, I'm just going by history in the last 3 visits. I can see us having a shithouse 1-1 there.
You're going to go for a draw?
I'm going for a draw, yes, because I can't. I do think that Liverpool just don't know how to be ruthless against us, but they make sure that under no circumstances will they won't let us beat us at them at Anfield. But that little bit extra, they worry a bit about our set pieces, and they worry about us on the counter attack. And if you look at the last season, and especially in a couple of seasons ago, that's probably why I do think that both teams, when it gets to 1-1, they'll be a bit cautious.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong, but I just can't. That early in the season, Liverpool at Anfield, they're going to want to. They're going to want a flying start to retain their title, and I just think they'll just be a little bit too strong for us in certain areas, to be honest. Yeah, I do. Unfortunately,
I'm going with a W, man. Like, records are there to be broken this time. If there's one game, I said this on the stream earlier, if there's one game I want us to win, it is Liverpool at Anfield.
Oh yeah,
I think both of you are talking facts for what it's worth, but it has to end. And to be fair, I don't really take anything in the Premier League seriously until like after the 10-game mark, because I think everybody's still chasing fitness. Yeah. So we're kind of level on par with Liverpool. They're not in the Club World Cup either. I'm going draw though.
Yeah, I think with Liverpool top side, but yeah, they're just as much under pressure as we are, because you think about it, we're under pressure because we haven't won the league for 21 years, and because of everyone now is thinking out loud when it comes to our trophy drought. However, Liverpool, they're under massive pressure, because this is where people are going to look at Arne Slot and say, hang on, this is his team now. What is an Arne Slot team going to really? Plus, they're under pressure because everyone expects Man City to come back and reclaim their throne. I don't think Liverpool get the respect they deserve for how they won the title, which is very easily. So they're going to have to want to do it again this season coming, where they have to prove that it wasn't they didn't win the title because Man City were bad and Arsenal just didn't turn up. They want to prove that we deserve to win this title, and we're going to do it again to prove that us, not Man City, are the top dogs now.
Fair. Nottingham Forest. I'm going to say L, I think we lose that. They're the sort of games we kind of fuck up in. I'm nervous about the home games against the sides we're expected to beat, as you will probably see.
I'm going for a home win again. I think the first 2 home fixtures are pretty good to us, really. I think we'll beat Forest. Again, it won't be free-flowing. It won't be loads of goals. It'll be tough. Forest will score, definitely. I can see a home win on that one. Yeah.
You know what? Depends what Forest is going to be, because Forest have got a few sexy players. Are they going to have Morgan Gibbs-White? Because if Morgan Gibbs-White's still playing for them, they still keep Hudson-Odoi, and Chris Wood is still sharp.
He's 8 sexy players, Kenny. Damn.
But Morgan Gibbs-White, don't get me wrong, everyone's talking about there's a possibility of him going to Man City. No, if you think of Morgan Gibbs-White, you're taking away not just the potential, the creativity, you're taking away the work rate. There's someone who closes people down and can get it done. He'd be an extreme loss. You know what I mean? It'll be a really big loss for him. So I would like to play not the Forest side without Morgan Gibbs-White. And if he ain't playing, and if Chris Wood isn't the player that he was before, we're winning that game. It won't be easy, because Nuno's a very negative manager. Negative manager.
Yeah, to catch you on the counter.
He's definitely Mr. Low Block. But
the good thing about also Morgan Gibbs-White, he gets the transitions going very quickly as well. he gets the team going from defence into attack very, very quickly, where he'll pick the ball up and he'll just run with it and he'll open stuff up. Similar to what I've been saying we need in midfield. This is what we need. We haven't got a creative midfield player. And I know
the Rodgers.
I know people are going to say Martin Odegaard. Really? Did he create?
He's not really a runner. Rice is the one that does that, if anything.
Come on, let's.
We create through pressure and through forcing opposition to mistakes, and that's how we do. We rely on our power. Whilst not the Forest, they're a very powerful team. You think about their defenders from set pieces, they're strong as well. But look, we're not going to see if we don't get the players we need, and we don't play with Monash that I like. We're not going to. We're going to see games where it's going to be topsy turvy, where because the pressure on us is on us against Nottingham Forest that we've got to win it. I'll say, you know what, we'll win probably 2-1, 3-1. But again, it'll be one of those games where you won't come out of the Emirates and purring. But
you won't be buzzing.
So far, we've got how many points we've got so far? We've got 8 points. I'll give it 8 points.
I've got us down 7 points.
Yeah, so I've got 8 points.
I said 7 from those 2
years so far.
I've got 7 points because I said I reckon the next 2 games will lose.
I've got 8. I'm
going to put an L in the Man City. I think Man City will be rejuvenated. I think he changes the way he plays. You'll see a different Man City under Pep this season than what you've ever seen. He tried it in January because he knew that he could experiment because he knew the league was gone. And I think you'll see a different style of Man United, and it will completely bamboozle this manager. This manager will still set up the old way against them. He won't invert with his fullbacks anymore. Man City, Pep, and they've made some good signings. They've got some real dangerous players. I think they'll push Liverpool pretty good this season. So it's one of them because, as I said, we normally get up for the big games. You know, we're motivated for these sort of games, so we will make it difficult for Man City. We will make it difficult for Man City. But the problem is with this sort of game, he's always caught in two minds. Arteta, he never he don't know whether to sit back and defend and soak the pressure up and try and hit them on the counter, or he don't know whether to go all out attack against them.
Why is that for you then?
Sorry?
Why is that for you?
Because he's inexperienced of not managing elsewhere, DG. That's the problem. What people have failed to realise is that this geezer from day one, since he stepped into the club, has been learning on the job.
Definitely.
He's been learning on the job. And these are the games that tests him. And when he gets under, when he goes into games under big tests, and I know people are going to say, yeah, but what about Real Madrid? Listen, in cup games, one-off games, you're always going to have one-off moments. And this is what this manager's been thriving off of, moments. Big games where he's got over the line and won them. And in the following game, when he's expected to win, he's fallen short. So, you know, and this is the problem. You know, you knock down one wall and then another one pops up in front of you. You know, it's just, this is how it is with him. So for me, I think Man City will win that. I think they'll turn it on at the Emirates. I think that'll be there probably. Yeah, they'll look at that and go, right, if we can go into September or whenever, middle of September, end of September, with getting 3 points at the Emirates, they'll have that box ticked. And I think, I can't see us beating them.
I'm going W's in the last 2 games against City and Newcastle, to be fair, purely because I demand a reaction to the last 2 times we've played at St. James's Park. City have had our number for a number of years. It's nice to have theirs, and yeah, just show them that maybe you win the league, maybe things change, but you come to the Emirates and you're going to lose. And Lewis Kelly's got us, man. I'm going W's in the last 2 games, to be fair.
It's a lot of pressure put on a young lad, isn't it?
Pressure's a privilege.
Yeah, obviously, pressure's a privilege. I think what it is with Man City's one of those games where we know we can beat Man City, even with their best players. And for them to beat us now, they've got to work their nuts off. They've got to make sure their midfield's like really up to scratch. They get the bodies in. I think the Man City game, perversely, the Man City game will be easier to play in and easier to get up for than the Nottingham Forest and Leeds games. The expectation is still, despite because of what Man City have achieved over the last few years under Pep, it's a 50-50 game because we've last two games playing the Emirates, we've beaten comfortably last season. But it's Man City; they've got a reputation, still got Haaland, fresh. They still got great players, still got a great manager. However,
Haaland, the lad that's in Magalhaes' back pocket.
We're at home, aren't we? So I wouldn't be surprised if we do win. I expect, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we do win. I mean, it's not going to be comfortable, but I 100% think we can. I am going for a win.
That's an ugly game typically, anyways. Like they just cancel each other out.
I think Man City will let us play because that it'll be a betrayal of Pep's principles for them to do anything else. They are going to come to play. They are going to risk themselves, and they are going to sort of put themselves back themselves to go there and win because that's what they're doing. When Man City are at their best, they'll back themselves. So I do think 100%. I do fancy us to win. I don't think we're going to win 5-1 like we did last few months ago. In fact, it's not going to happen. But 1-0, set piece, and then we'll find it hard to be broken down.
They want to rectify that 5-1. They know they got hammered last season. I don't think you'll see a different Man City.
Can't afford to lose to Liverpool City in the first 6 games, man.
We shouldn't really panic if they go up because of the fact that they are going to let us play our football because they're going to want to impose their football on us.
I hear it. So what? How do you lot feel about? Obviously, I haven't got the 10 games, but most people would say you can't win.
Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle. I said W straight away.
No, No, St James Park, right at the big start of the season. Oh yeah. See, they're another team that tends to sort of got and this man. Eddie Howe's a manager again that's got this guy's number, and let's be honest, he knows he's going to play against this guy. He knows how to get up for him. The players always, if you look at players like Bruno and Joel Linton and
bunch of fucks,
players like that, they get up for Arsenal. I don't know what it is. They tend to really, really get out, and they really get a bit physical, and they get under our skin a lot, and a lot of our players get rattled by it, And to go to St James Park, I was going to say a draw, so I'm sort of sitting on the fence a little bit with this one, but no, I think it's going to be an L. I think we're going to lose that one. I had 2 games there, City and Newcastle. I said 7 points out of the first opening games, and I've got to stick with that. That's what I honestly believe.
I think there's more chance of us losing to Liverpool than Newcastle. I don't think we're losing in them 6 games to the big teams.
I agree with DJB. Newcastle give us nothing, no space, nothing.
No,
and they'll be very direct on us, and they'll put the crosses in. And when they put the crosses in, you look at the goals we conceded against Newcastle, especially in the league last season. Great cross, ease that header. Obviously, the season before when it was like kind of a dodgy goal, it was from the flanks. They got us, and I think they tend to double up on our wingers. And in midfield, they don't give us time to breathe. They don't. Whenever we get the ball, we always seem to isolate our best players, and we can't even do them on a counter attack. So I don't see us getting anything there. I do not. I see us conceding, and I won't even see it. I don't expect to see even get a shot and goal.
What, at St James's?
No, I think we won't get battered, but I think we'll lose 1-0 because history has told us in the last 2 games we just can't break them down. We just can't break them down. They are the most negative. They're negative in a very positive way, if you know what I mean. Bunch
of thugs.
No, they play the referee really well. Guimaraes gets.
I'm not doubting it. I'm not dissing it. I wish we were like that. We tried to do the gentleman's thing and get roughed up, but it's fun.
We're not, because everyone talks about our shithousery. They talk about Benjamin White. They talk about the defenders doing all sorts.
Yeah, but everybody in Newcastle's team's doing it. We've got like three people that would do that.
Fair enough. But I'll tell you one thing: they're going to give us nothing. They're going to get in our faces, stop us from playing, and they're going to
take it.
They're going to back out. They got Isak, who can do something.
Quality player, nuisance for us.
And they got pace in the flanks. I can't see us getting anything in that game. That's not me being negative. It's just that we just haven't solved that puzzle of St James's Park. They're not like Liverpool, and they sit going to give us a game to play with.
Yeah, no, exactly, Kenny. But look at where we're at. So we've already highlighted losses. I mean, all right. All of us have picked out where we think we're going to win and where and it's different. But this is where we're at. We're going into nearly 6 years under this manager, and we're still looking at these games. Are we? Should we? And one thing we've all had in common: we're highlighting how we're going to set up and how we're going to play. So if we're thinking it's predictable, how do you think these other managers are looking at it?
That's where I always say in my streams, Mikel Arteta can buy as many players as he wants. I think he adapted last season. You've got to evolve.
He has to change, and the fans
have to change. Yeah,
we are predicting how we're going to play and how we're going to set up. We know how the games are going to go pretty much under this manager. So if we can predict it, managers have already got this guy's number. This is what I'm saying. If he doesn't change the way he plays, and no matter what manager comes through that door, player comes through the door. If we get Gyokeres, Sesko, Zubimendi, if we get this one, that one, all of that is not going to be effective if this manager does not change the way he plays against certain teams. He has to. He has to. Because if he doesn't, you're just going to see the same thing. Stumble over the line against Nottingham Forest at home. Stumble over the line against Leeds at home. Not, like we did against Southampton and Leicester last season. Yeah. Struggled against teams like West Ham at home. Battered against Aston Villa away. Newcastle didn't have a plan B to break them down. Man United, same thing. Didn't have a plan B to break them down. And so on and so on and so on. And this is just the first few fixtures. We've got to go the whole season with this guy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, honestly, I can't really get excited, and it's such a shame because I've been following the club for many, many years, and I can't get excited. I always get that feeling with this manager. It's like when you're a kid and you start a new school, or you got a new teacher. You get that kind of feeling, or you got to go to the dentist, or you got to go to the doctors when you're a kid. You know what I mean? You get that. These are the sort of feelings I have with this manager. It's honestly, I can't. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and all of these predictions, what we've predicted, is subject to what players are coming through the door. Do you know what I mean? All of those predictions could change if we do the right thing. If we do the right thing, those predictions could change. I could be turning around and going, "Yeah, we'll beat Man City. Yeah, we'll beat Newcastle." But if we don't get the right players in, it's going to be copy and paste, I'm afraid, guys. From my opinion, anyway.
We'll get into the signings in just a bit, but yeah, I want to kind of focus on this fixture period list. Have you lot gone over like every fixture, or have you just glanced over?
Well, I think what we looked at. I think if you go through the fixture list, you look at the last few games. For instance, you look at the last 3 games of the season. If you notice that the last two away games are West Ham and Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
and they're now
seen the script.
If you look at the script and you look at what Crystal Palace did last season, part of me is glad that it's away from home, because I think if it's at the Emirates and even under where we've got 60,000 fans and we're not exactly playing the flowing football, and you saw what Crystal Palace and West Ham did to us last season, I'll be more sort of petrified and nervous if it was the Emirates. But at their grounds, again, the onus is on them, isn't it, to come out and play. We've got the Crystal Palace and we hammered them last season. Actually took them to school. And West Ham is that on that nice little big pitch of theirs, where their fans, and I say it respectfully, just hate that stadium.
They're too far away from the pitch, man.
We've bagged 11 goals in that stadium in the last 2 seasons.
So those are fixtures. Look, obviously, from being a North London boy, it's Tottenham home and away. Because I'll be honest with you guys, don't take this personally, because I'm not criticising anyone, because each to their own. I always joke about, oh yeah, you can't be a proper goon if Spurs ain't your worst enemy. That's by the by. But the fixtures I've looked at is the games that I potentially could go to, and it's selfish, but I know I'm going to go to London fixtures. I know I'm going to go to.
No, Kenny, it's not about you. Did you not say that earlier? It's not about you.
I know, you're right. That's why I apologise. But really and truly,
I'm joking.
I do look out for the derby games, because I think when you're going for a title, you're a London team. If you don't do well in your derby games, you're never going to win the league. When Arsenal won the league in 2004, that we were unbeaten in our derby games. In 2002, when we did the double, we only lost one of our derby games, and that was Charlton at home when we lost 4-2, and they smashed us. But we only lost 3 away games that day. But I think it's hard for a London side to win the league because of the derby games home and away. Because especially the one-way ones where your London rivals really want to beat you, Tottenham really want to beat you, Chelsea really want to beat you, West Ham really want to beat you. It's just like in the Championship, where
everyone wants to beat us, man.
Derbies, there's loads of like Northwest derbies, because there's so many of those teams from that area, next area in the Championship. The same with Arsenal. So that's why I do look out for the London games, not because I go to those games and I like to go to them. It's because of the fact that if we don't do well in those games, those intense games, we're definitely not going to win the league.
No, exactly.
Or was that our issue last season, or was it the smaller games? Like for me, I actually went and looked for Fulham and West Ham and actually Forest.
We dropped points against Fulham.
That's why I was looking. That's why this year was different, because they were the first fixtures I looked at.
Yeah, but you think about it. We dropped points against Fulham at their ground. We dropped points against Palace at home. We dropped points against West Ham. We lost at home at West Ham. We did a double over Tottenham. Brentford, we dropped points at home against Brentford, but the league was over there.
Villa as well.
So you think about those condensed London derbies. If we were to win them home and away, that will help us in our voice to win the league. Because when you win, the reason why I always say the Champions League is not as important as the league. It's not because I'm hating on the Champions League and pissing on your parade because you've never.
Wait, say that again.
I think the league's more important than the Champions League, but I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, though, because you think about it.
The trophy we ain't won.
You've got 38 games where you're Arsenal. You've got to play all these London derbies, and then you've got to go to the grounds that you never win at traditionally. Yes, he had Old Trafford, Anfield, Goodison Park. You always struggle against, and even though they've got a new stadium, you go to all these grounds. Sometimes when you've got injuries, you still have to win. Sometimes when you're not at it, you still have to win. And obviously, you have to play with a bit of panache. You've got to go to the world 38 times. Now, the Champions League, don't get me wrong, you've got the best of the best. But sometimes when certain teams win the Champions League, sometimes
you can win a result, can't you?
They may win on penalties. And they're probably not the best team in their leagues. When you win the Premiership, you are the best. No one could just take that away from you. No, it's not in dispute.
What about Liverpool? We couldn't run them close. They were coasting.
But they're the best team in the bread and butter, man. They won it early. They won it early. If you win the league, there's no one could tell you, no one could take it away from your achievement. You are the best. It's not in dispute.
You're the best if you win the Champions. Who can take that away from you?
Listen, as the great Brian Clough says, when you win the league, it takes every ounce out of you.
%. It's longer.
You have to. It's what you do in a day-to-day basis. It's like you have to overcome injuries, suspensions. You have to change the way you play on occasions. It is your bread and butter. But for me, winning the Champions League would be unbelievable because I've never seen it. So that's
Exactly.
that's the
Let's
only
ask Kenny
thing.
that,
I
DJB.
understand where Kenny's
Yeah,
coming from.
I understand it, but
winning
Kenny,
the league
champ
is
or
the
Prem,
first
which one would you want to win?
I want to win the league. I want to win
No,
the
winning
league.
the league is
Over
the
the
first
champ.
priority.
I want it more than Champions League because this team, my team, Arsenal, after the fact that they went,
I don't
they
believe
should
you, Kenny.
because they should have won it in 2023, should have won it in 2024, and they fell miserably last year. I want this to actually say, right, you can't take this away from this team. You can't take this away from my club. We were the best. No excuses. We won it fair and square.
I want
Champions League, though.
I want it both. Am I being greedy? I want both.
Same, I want both. But so, Kenny, someone gives you the Champions League 2026, the Premier League 2026. You're going to pick the Prem over a comp that we ain't done.
Well, we're not too funny. Like we've only in the Champions League. I'll say it respectfully. We've only got 3 semi-finals.
Even more reason you should be picking the Champions
League. We've only
League.
won 2 European trophies.
I know Europe exactly. Our pedigree in Europe is
won 2 European trophies. The league, and I say the league's more gettable for us in the Champions League because I do think
so.
That's
why I want the Champions League more.
Ask me that
I think Real Madrid will regroup.
I know your answer, D, man. You're with me.
I think Man City and Liverpool a bit stronger. It's going to be harder to win the Champions League than it will be our league. Yeah. And our league's bloody hard to win.
Kenny,
I'd be happy with the
trophy, man. Yeah, trust. I'll just be happy with a trophy next season.
I would say that. Arsenal need to win the league sooner rather than later.
This manager needs to win the league big time.
The league is the only way
when I look at fixtures, I have a look at round about Christmas time. I always look at December. I think it's a real key area to look at, December. And then I always look sort of March time because normally 9 out of 10 times come the end of March, beginning of April, pretty much the league is then either decided or you know what games you need to win to go and win the league. So I always look sort of March, April and December. And looking at December, Brentford, Aston Villa away, Wolves, Everton,
Brighton, a lot of games.
Aston Villa. It's not it's not the end of the world. I mean, I've just noticed, is that Aston Villa twice in December?
Which one are you looking at?
I think someone made it. Yeah,
I'm looking at the Arsenal one. The Arsenal one's got.
That's Aston Villa
it
twice.
It can't be. That's a good spot, dude. You got glasses on those.
We've got Aston Villa away in December and Aston Villa at home in December.
Yeah, man.
It's not beyond the realms of possibility. Let me just check.
No,
it is, Aston Villa. We got Aston Villa twice in December.
Yeah. So
some of that's going to change with TV rights.
That would change. But what I'm saying
that's 3 weeks. It's still 3 weeks apart, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's very you don't.
And you got the champs coming in as well, changing things.
And if you look at the other, spot as well. November we play Burnley, Sunderland, Tottenham, Chelsea. And then if you look in February, the only team that's different from November is Brentford and Burnley. Other than that, it's the same fixture, just the other way around. We've still got Tottenham and Chelsea together. So they're going to be key games. So going into those games in November, you have to take 6 points against Burnley.
November to January is tough, man.
You have to take 6 points against Burnley and Sunderland going into those derby matches against Spurs and Chelsea. Anything less, none of this nonsense of drawing at home or a draw against Burnley, draw against Sunderland. You've got to take 6 points whenever you've got a derby or a big game, and you play sort of the lesser of the teams, if you like, no disrespects, or the teams that you should be beating, you have to take maximum points.
Something we didn't do last year, D.
This is what happens. This is what happens, DG. You know, we don't go into the big games. We go into the big games with more pressure on us because we've not done it against the lesser teams.
Do you not think that's a mentality issue? Or why do you think that's the case?
It can be a mentality issue.
Because the top games are on it.
What that does then, it puts more pressure going into the big games, and perhaps that's why we've done well against the top six. Because every time we've gone into a game against the top six, we've dropped points. You know what I mean? We need to go on a big run. I mean, I'm not too worried in May because I think if we need points,
Could be won or lost by then. Like,
if
we could
we're
be on
in
a
a
beat.
position to win the league in May, I think the league's already sorted out for teams like Fulham and Palace. West Ham and Burnley, I think they all need points. I can see West Ham and Burnley needing points in May.
Definitely Burnley.
Definitely Burnley. And if West Ham don't get their act together, I think West Ham as well. So I think in May, West Ham and Burnley will need points. So there'll be pressure games. The Palace away and the Fulham at home, their season will already be decided. You know, they'll probably be mid-table, top 8, top 9, 10, you know. So I don't really worry about them games.
Fulham makes me nervous. West Ham's. I'm still nervous about West Ham away, not because of the last 2 years, but the 2022.
I'm always nervous
season.
against West Ham because West Ham's cup finals are Spurs and Arsenal.
Yeah,
finals. That is their West Ham, Spurs and Arsenal.
When did they start hating us, man? West Ham used to be cool.
West Ham, their champions. West Ham, Arsenal and Spurs is their Champions League and their Premiership. If West Ham go through the season and they've taken 3 points off of Arsenal and 3 points off of Tottenham, and they have a good cup run, 9 out of 10 of them fans are happy.
You know what? You know where West Ham hate Arsenal? Not as much as they hate Tottenham.
Fan base has got most of it.
I think with Spurs, it's because Spurs, you think like Tottenham. Tottenham's in kind of northeast London. Like so certain parts of the East London, like Walthamstow, Chingford, they're Tottenham areas, even though they should be West Ham areas.
We're not far from Stratford.
And then you got Leighton Orient, which is like Switzerland, basically.
That's Tottenham, even though that should be a West Ham area.
Stratford on the train. We're only a couple of stops from Highbury, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, notice as well, a lot of Spurs fans have moved from like North London to Essex. So there's their rivalry there. Spurs fans live, but there's a lot of Arsenal fans who live around those sort of like Walthamstow, Essex areas as well. So that's where the rivalry. The rivalry of Arsenal started with 1980 FA Cup, and then obviously there was some. Obviously that I won't mention his name, but he's a guy who likes writing books about how hard he is. I won't even. I got nothing but contempt for the man, but the way he was boasting about what he did about the ICF, as poor man was stabbed to death at Highbury.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And those animals left one of their calling cards. Not on.
Yeah. No. See, January's heavy as well. January, you got Liverpool.
You got the champs and everything as well. So we're all assuming there's no injuries, no suspensions.
Yeah.
I hope we have depth, but if we don't, this is a slugfest by December, January. And these are not easy games. Bournemouth away, we saw what happened. Liverpool at home, I reckon we could do that. Forest away is nasty. United at home, I reckon we got Ellen Road in January. Tough. Nasty game to go to as well. That's one of the grounds they're right on top of you.
The thing is, the start of the season, August, is probably one of the most crucial fixture months.
You can't win the league, but you can lose it in hindsight.
Because if we don't get off to a start, September then suddenly becomes very hard, and then we're going into October with 3 London derbies, West Ham, Fulham, and Palace, and October becomes an absolute nightmare if we don't get off to a good start. It really does.
And we need to win at Stamford Bridge, man. I think the last 2 seasons at Stamford Bridge, we've been fucking about. Pardon my French, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
If I'm brutally honest, we need to win.
As I said,
that's small.
No, DJ. I mean, the Stamford Bridge, we have to show up there, mate. We have been messing around there, but I mean, to be honest with you, it all depends what we do in the next couple of weeks.
Amen.
All of these fixtures could mean nothing if we don't do the right thing. If we don't prepare again like we did last summer, if we have another summer transfer window like we did last year, you can kiss the Premiership goodbye, Kenny, can't you?
I think you're muted, Kenny.
Sorry, like the Europe as well. Personally, someone asked me a question: are you upset that that Arsenal not participating in the World Club Championships? And I said, you know what? I'm all for rest for players. However, now our players ain't participating, and hopefully we'll get our players back fresh. I expect them to come out the blocks. However, a club like Arsenal should be wanting to be in a competition like this, because the simple reason is that the right team's going to win the World Club Championships. And let's not face it, people say, well, Arsenal ain't won nothing. Well, Benfica ain't won a European trophy for years, but they're there. Dortmund ain't won a Champions League since 97, they're there. And Atletico haven't won the Champions League at all. So Arsenal, if they're the club that I think we are, we should be wanting to be part of this for the, moving forward. So we need to improve in the league, win things, and do better in Europe. We should be part of something like this.
And for fitness purposes, man, because I do agree on one hand with what Thomas Tuchel said, in that this could benefit Arsenal and Liverpool not playing in this. But then it could be a benefit because you're like carrying on, ticking over your training, you're doing all those things. I actually think we're a club that kind of needs that. But as DJB said, it comes. It's not just signings, but it's just it comes down to signings. Like I looked at the first 6 games and I thought, yeah, we need to get a move on, because if these guys are not in there at least for the first 2 games, it can get ugly very quickly. And I hope it doesn't get like that, what it used to be at the Emirates and online and on the social media and whatnot. But there's an element of impatience now. Like even the most patient of Arsenal fan needs to see results.
See, the thing is, we was told to be patient. Oh, it's only early in the window. It's only early in the window. But once that fixture list is announced, suddenly those lack of signings at the start of the transfer window soon creeps up. That season will soon creep up on everyone, and we need to get a move on. I wanted someone in early, DG. For me,
you're not alone.
We was linked with Sesko last season. Sesko is the absolute holy, the man that this manager wants. And for me, I was hoping he'd be through the door on the 1st of June, 2nd of June latest. Done.
I'm trying to find. Apparently, well, there are some conflicting reports. For every report that says we've agreed personal terms and we're getting closer to a fee, there are things that distance us from the mark. But like, what do you lot genuinely make of Sesko? And do you feel there's an unnecessarily amount of pressure on him or Gyokeres, whichever striker signed?
Sorry.
Go on, Kenny.
I think it's tough. That we if Sesko should have been here a year ago, and maybe this season he could have been accumulated as well. But the fact is that the necessity for Arsenal to win a big trophy means that any player that comes to our football club has to hit the ground running. Sesko's not going to get time. He's not going to get any time. What Arsenal fans want from Sesko is to be the first name in the team sheet, be the guy that's playing up top, not to be rotating with Kai Havertz. We want someone to replace Kai Havertz and be that genuine striker we've been looking for. The same with Gyokeres. They haven't got time to settle. But I was listening to a few podcasts, and I was listening to friends I've spoken to. And the consensus is, for not all of them, but I'd say the consensus of opinion, if we do a poll and say 40% of Arsenal fans abstained from my poll and 60% has participated, you'll find that quite a few percentage of our fans don't want either of them. They don't want. They'd rather have someone else. They'd rather have.
Well, again, Isaac. So
mentioned. I was hearing Isaac mentioned. That shows you that we want guarantees, and that with Osimhen, obviously you see probably more a guarantee, and you think Osimhen's better than the both of them. But most importantly, Isak's better than both of them. It's still going to be risk, but that's tough luck. They're getting paid a lot of money. They come in here. I believe both of them are fighting to come here. There's no like pats on the back and we'll show you around and treat you like the new kids. Nah, the new kid needs to come out the block, start scoring, and win us these games that we couldn't win last season.
Do you feel Sesko signing as well, guys, in the sense that Some people would say he needs time. He needs time. Some people that I speak to say if we sign Sesko, it allows Arteta and the club to hide behind the whole project thing and the process thing and all that stuff.
I see with me, if you've got a certain amount of money to spend and both are a gamble, you have to look at the CV. And people are going to say, yeah, but he's scored loads of goals in Portugal. But for me, you can only go by what's in front of you. And if you're spending in the region of £85 million, which is a lot of money out of our budget, considering we was meant to have all this money, if you're going to go and spend £85 million, you have to go for the best player that's proven. And Gyokeres is proven. His goal scoring ratio, his assists, everything is proven. But on the flip side of that, people are going to say, yeah, but Sesko, you know, he's young, he's pacey, he's tall, and all this about, oh, he'll fit the way we play and everything else. Well, the point of the matter is we ain't really had any style of play in an attacking sense recently. Our attacking sense has been pretty hit and miss. We ain't really built up a style of play in the final third. Saka's been injured. Martinelli's been sort of, you know, in and out. Trossard's been used left and in as a false nine. We've had midfield players playing as centre forward, so we haven't really got an identity up front. So Sesko coming in would be very, very similar. I can see if we sign Sesko, he'll play a very similar role to say Havertz and Trossard.
Is that right though, DJB?
No.
If Arteta does that, like,
well, coming on the back of that, I'm going to agree with Kenny. We don't want that. We want someone that's going to put Havertz firmly on the bench.
Yeah, I think everyone does. What's the point?
And told you've got to stay there because we've now got a goal scorer. You know,
I don't want messing about.
I don't want all this nonsense of giving time to bed in, rotating, false nines, switching out to the left, playing Havertz down the middle, putting Sesko on the left, dropping Sesko in deep, doing this, putting Havertz in the 10. No. I'll
be real. In the ideal world, he wants to do the Liverpool thing. I think he wants Salah and Saka and another bad boy on the right, on the left hand side, and facilitator.
Unfortunately, DG, in a real world, we've got a manager that likes his final people in the final third to also defend.
That's what I mean. That's why I don't think he wants to strike a like that. Goals are a bonus.
This is the problem with the manager. What we need, DG, we need an out and out, ugly, horrible, big bags man that's going to score goals that you can say to him, that is where you operate. We will do the work. When that ball comes in the box, I want you to be dangerous and put the ball in the back of the net.
Because even Pep accepted that with the Haaland purchase, to end your point, DJ.
Exactly. But we haven't got that. He doesn't want that. He wants to try and play all this false nine. He wants players. He wants a row. You can see what he's trying to do. But he hasn't built enough credit in the bank to experiment now. He hasn't.
Yeah, no, we're past experiments. We need to deliver.
We need to deliver. What I'm saying is, so if you're going to go and spend £80-odd million, go and get the best available. For me, they're two bang average strikers. I think they're two bang average strikers. We're not talking Erling Haaland. We're not talking Isak. We're not talking like Henry back in the day. We're talking like two.
Striker market's horrible in today's day and age.
We're talking like two bang average strikers. You know, we're not talking world beaters. So both are going to be a gamble. But what I'm trying to say is these two players, whether they're bang average or not, they are better than what we've already got. Because we can't keep going. We cannot go into another season relying on men like Havertz, Marino, Trossard, false nine.
It's not even fair to them, if I'm honest. It's not fair to them or us.
We've got to stop all this nonsense and just go and sign a striker. And I'm at the stage now where I don't care who we get. I just want to see number 9 on the back of one of these guys.
But this is what I've been saying for the last few weeks. I'm at that point now. Just get me.
I'm at that point now where I don't care. I don't care what you give me. I just don't want to see Kai Havertz or Marino as my strikers. And that is it. That is where I'm at with it. That is where I'm at now. You know, if you've highlighted Sesko, go and get him. Go and get him. But the longer you leave it, the more money we're going to have to pay for these people, and other teams are also going to come into them. And if we get into a bidding war, you can say goodbye to both of these.
And then you still have to find someone, whether it's by hook or by crook, Ollie Watkins or something.
And then we end up with your cover, which is Ollie Watkins.
Exactly. And then you should have probably got him in January, as much as it would have been overpriced. Why do you think? Yeah, because for every rumor about Sesko signing for us, there's rumors saying that's wide of the mark. And 1 minute Gyokeres is joining, then he's not. Gyokeres is first choice, then he's not. Sesko the same. Why do you think why do you both of you think we're negotiating with both of them? Apparently, like, do you think we haven't settled on a first choice, or is Berta kind of playing the game?
Me personally, I think it's all talk. I don't think we're negotiating on both of them. I think he wants one player. He's highlighted who he wants. The manager wants Sesko. All this about, we're trying to get this one, we're trying to get this one, we're trying to get this one. No, the manager has made it clear who he wants. He wants Sesko, and that's it. And he will just dig his heels in, and he will do all what he can to get his own way, because that's the sort of manager we've got at the football club. He wants Sesko. That's it. If we get Gyokeres and we don't get Sesko, it throws all his plans out of the pram. It will absolutely bamboozle him, completely throw him off. It will completely throw him. He'll even lose sleep over it. I'm telling you, Gyokeres is not who he wants. He wants Sesko. Then he can mess around with Havertz. Then he can mess around with the likes of Trossard. He can still play certain ways. With Gyokeres, you can't do that. You can't have this man coming back and defending, going out on the left. You can't have this man in a rotational with Havertz. You got to play him. You got to play him. You got to play him. He's an out-and-out forward. You got to play him. He ain't going to sit on the bench and watch a midfield player play up front. Do you know? It's going to cause bad vibes. That is why this man is doing everything he can to get Sesko. Everything. So all this about he wants Gyokeres, he wants this one. No. Arteta and all the fans that absolutely worship the ground he walks over, he wants Sesko. 100%.
Where are you at with that, Kenny?
Well, first and foremost, without a shadow of that, I think, well, Arsenal, if Gyokeres is available, then big clubs should be interested, because you're immediately attracted to his record, the goals he scored in the last couple of seasons.
Can't ignore it.
But you can't ignore it. Regardless of what, I think people at Arsenal will know a lot about Gyokeres. They would followed his career at Brighton when he was part of the academy. They would seen he looked at Coventry, looked at what he does with Sweden, but they just prefer Sesko. I understand that some fans will prefer Gyokeres because, if anyone's banging in goals with that sort of ratio, you have to think, yeah, come on.
Can't ignore them.
He's a scorer in the top European league. He scores regular goals in the Champions League. Of course, you're going to want to be interested, but I genuinely believe that Arsenal are having a look at Gyokeres because they're aware of the clause in his contract. But and possibly because he's probably a little bit cheaper than he's probably going to prove cheaper than Sesko, who long term, Leipzig.
There are reports saying that Gyokeres is overpriced for his price tag, though, which I agree it is cheaper, but some think he's overpriced. There could be red flags there with him.
It's not a case of red flags. It's the face that it's the age in it. Sesko's a young player. From a business point of view, if you're a business, you probably want Sesko because you think that if he develops and improves, then and if he chooses to leave, we can get massive money for him. I don't see the business plan for Gyokeres, to be honest.
No. So win now thing. That's why I would want it. But like you said, it's not business.
I don't even see the plan. I don't even see the plan under this manager with Gyokeres. This is what worries me. There's no plan for him with under this manager, Gyokeres. I don't know about you, Kenny, but I can't. No.
This is just a common sense attachment, because the fact is that he wants to leave. He's told Sporting he doesn't want to play for them no more, that he wants to go to a bigger club. His agent is parading and clause in his contract.
There's a lot of mind games going on.
Sporting is saying, "Oh yeah, we've got our price." Of course, if there's a striker in a top European league scoring goals and he's available, Arsenal Football Club have to be interested. It's a given. It's an open goal, really. Doesn't mean they want the player. He's not their plan A. The plan A is Sesko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been chasing him for a couple of years, so yeah, it would make sense. And they're prepared to pay more for him than your career.
I don't think they're serious enough on getting Gyokeres. I honestly think that they're putting all their eggs in one basket with Sesko, and they've bought Ollie Watkins in, because if both go wrong, there's Ollie Watkins as a cover, because they know the fans are desperate for a striker. He knows he needs a striker. He needs a striker. And that is, if we go into this season without a striker, it's going to be it's not going to be pretty over.
May God be with Arsenal Football Club, because
it's not going to be pretty over the Emirates. I don't know where you sit, Kenny, but I mean, where I sit, it won't be pretty. If we're lining up with Havertz to come next season, it ain't going to be pretty where I sit.
They'll be raised to the extent that I think people who back the manager and in turn back Havertz. We've got people at the club. Those merchants. If he plays in a red shirt, you got to back him, because I backing him, so you've got to back him. Those kind of guys. I don't think. Look,
everyone gets backed, but we can be honest if a player's good or not good enough.
I don't think it's even that. I think Arsenal. I think I think I can confidently say 96, probably 97% of our fans do not believe Kai Havertz should be starting games up top. If they're honest. Some will be wouldn't want him in the club at all. Some would just say, in a sort of like lesser.
You can do the squad player thing.
I don't. Well, for £65 million, you don't want him. I rather sell him. If he's a bench player, he's got to go.
Sell him to where, Kenny? Though
280,000.
Yeah, sell him to where?
Do you know what I mean?
Let me say something.
Bayern aren't coming for him. We're in trouble, or Saudi or something.
There's always clubs in Europe. Kai Havertz is still seen as a top player to some clubs. There'll be Premiership clubs after him. There'll be European clubs.
I don't know, Kenny, man.
You say that, I don't see why not. When we were after him, he didn't do much at Chelsea, but we were interested in him. So
who else was interested in him?
DG, everyone's forgetting one thing. What you got to remember is that Kai Havertz is on £280,000 a week.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm like. How can you?
The only club he's going to after us is Saudi.
Yeah.
But
I understand where Kenny's coming from. There will be clubs kind of,
clubs coming in for him,
but not on those wages. I don't think.
I'll tell you one thing. I could be wrong. I bet you any money, but Bayern Munich will have a sniff if he's available.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For the right price.
May. But can you see where we're at? We're talking Havertz being a squad player. I was listening to one of the streams, Dan's stream yesterday, like
big up Dan.
Bits and pieces, big up Dan Potts all the time. But while I was at work, I was sort of like in and out, and they were saying about squad player and all that, and I'm scratching my head thinking, is this where we've come to? We have come from signing a player for 65 million to play in midfield. We're now playing him as our number 9, and now we're talking about putting him on the bench as a squad player on 280k a week.
That's where I think we're at, DJ, man. I wouldn't have bought Kai Havertz, but we're at with him.
This is what I mean. We've got Jesus, 250k a week, 4 knee operations, looking to get back in January. We've got Tommy Asu, 100 grand a week, played 6 minutes of football. Yeah? This is what I'm saying is, until you delve right into the nitty gritty, people don't want to hear it, because all people are looking at is
these are top earners.
We finished second and we got to a Champions League semi-final, and look where we were when he took over. Well, he got us 8th and 5th. At one point, we was bottom of the league and Spurs were top. So, you know, let's cut all this nonsense about where we're finished. The fact of the matter is, we haven't won anything. We've got players on stupid wages. We've also got players out of form, and we're dilly-dallying about getting a striker when this guy knows that he's needed a striker now for the last 3 seasons. And we're still messing around with it. I mean, it is an absolute joke. It's really it's crazy. You know, we shouldn't be like this. If you've got a manager that's been in place for this long and he's that good, why are we panicking over beating teams like Fulham and West Ham and Palace? Why are we panicking about what players we're going to sign? We should have our squad, the money he's had, easily assembled. And the only player we should be bringing in this season,
there'll be little touch-ups of the squad. To be fair,
is probably to tweak it up, like 1 or 2 players. We're talking about 6 players. We're talking about forwards here, DG. We need a left winger. We need a left back. We need another left back. You know, look at the left backs he's signed, and we still need a left back. Skelly's not a left back. Skelly's not a left back.
Apparently, he signed a new deal.
And chat. People are coming and go, what are you on about? Skelly ain't a left back. This kid's a midfield player. This kid would be a baller in midfield under any other manager. This kid in a number 8 or an attacking midfield, as an attacking midfield player, he would be unplayable in certain games, right? But what is he? He's been discovered by default through injury, not by the manager's scouting talent, by default. He's been discovered at left back, and that's where he's going to rot at this club, at left back.
Ain't that a bit harsh though? Because in the summer last year, they were saying they see him as a left back in the Zinchenko mode. To be fair,
he didn't see him as a left back, DG. He discovered him as a left back because he had no other option. Otherwise, he wouldn't have signed Calafiori. Otherwise, he wouldn't have played Zinchenko there.
Fair.
He wouldn't have played Kivior there at times. If he discovered this guy as a left back, why go and waste all that money on Calafiori?
I believe in Calafiori, but it's true. It's true.
You know,
it's true.
And this is where we're at now. And the problem is, it's okay. A striker is not going to solve all up. This is going to come as a big surprise to a lot of people, right? A striker coming to this football club is not going to solve all the problems at this.
I'm happy you said that. There's so much you got to do from a technical point of view, training and shit.
All the problems. There's too many problems at this football club. We still haven't got a replacement for Saliba. We've got no right-sided centre back. They've
been trying, to be fair.
That's adequate. Ben White carrying an injury. If Ben White gets injured, if Timber gets injured, you're looking at no right back. We still haven't got a replacement for Saka. You know, and we've got a number 10 that just runs around in circles and produces nothing. Who's captain?
He'll be back next year. Not the guy we trust.
DG, mate, honestly, mate, honestly, we still haven't got no.
You know you're going to see Havertz playing Odegaard's role if it goes left, man.
This guy will do everything to push any mountain to get Havertz in the team.
Yeah.
He has to justify spending all that money on Havertz.
Exactly.
And this is where this is one of his downfalls that he's going to have with his football club. Kai Havertz. But yeah, I mean that's where I'm at, guys. I mean, you know,
you're preaching, DJ. You're preaching. What you lot saying for this guy leaving as well? Because apparently Carlos West has become a manager at Parma now. He's obviously part of the coaching staff at Arsenal. He's gone now. Do you think this has some level of impact? Like, is it a big loss?
Slow news day. Who is he?
That's a bit harsh. He does the individual coaching. You see what he did for Saliba and Ben White. And that.
Slow news day.
At about 29 years of age, he's about to become Parma manager, D.
Yeah, the only people who ask really is the players that worked with him, you know. But I mean, Kenny, you know this club's teed up for Cesc Fabregas to be our next manager. You know that, don't you? I keep saying it.
I'm with it as well. I think it'd be a success. I must admit, I'm with the new look manager stuff.
At least he's earned his stripes at another club, unlike this manager. You know what I mean?
I mean, he'll have to share he'll have to sell his shares at Como. Surely he's not going to have his shares in Como.
Put that in your wife's name, man. He'll be all
there's
right.
a question, right? If Arteta and Cesc Fabregas were both available, who'd get the bigger job?
What now?
Yeah.
Well, Cesc about to go into though, man.
That's a good question because Arteta's obviously got the gig at Arsenal. He's
honestly, I think Arteta because I think he's got some PR in the footballing world. They rate him and whatnot. But I would pick Cesc.
Yeah, but the thing is that
at both starting their careers.
Something about Cesc. Cesc is saying the right things about coaching and about philosophy of football. Cesc is really impressive, even though I don't like having any time for the man. Cesc,
let it go, man.
No, it's not personal. From a footballing point of view, Cesc is really highly thought of. A lot of people putting up for when the Leipzig job's available, people putting his name in the ring. There's going to be jobs in the Premiership. So Cesc, a lot of people listen to Cesc because he's telling us what he wants to hear. We want to hear. We don't want to see this kind of like
bit like Arteta.
No block crap. But with Arteta, with Cesc, he's talking about playing the game the right way. Yeah. He's against
a real Wenger disciple, not David Moyes.
Yeah. David Moyes. A lot of fans will want to see that brand of football.
Yeah.
So
I think you get
that. Sorry, owners like to see that brand of football as well. So I can't rule Cesc. I think he's 50-50.
Yeah. Because how I look at it, if Arteta's that good and that Arteta is so sought after, taking away the Spanish thing, why did Madrid come in for Alonso? Why weren't Arteta tapped up?
But that's the difference, man. Xabi Alonso did his thing at Sociedad. He then went to Leverkusen. Exactly. I think. Do you know what? I think Real Madrid are going to win the Champions League. I actually think Xabi Alonso is a very good manager, and in general, he's similar to Arteta. But one thing I like about Xabi Alonso watching Leipzig, he changes things. You see him do a back three, do a back four. He changes things. Arteta just, this is what I'm doing. I'm not stopping it. And I think that's because of pressure. I don't feel you're pressurized to change things at Arsenal. And it's your Achilles heel. I understand life's a contradiction, as we all know. And as a manager, you have to find that balance with being stubborn, but you also have to be a bit humble. And I need Arteta to learn from the mistakes of last year. When to trust, when to rotate, when to, maybe I want us to, control the whole game, but I might just need to let Saka stay up there rather than defend. Everyone at this football club needs to learn from last season. We need to exhaust all options from a technical front in the training pitch. We need to get this market spot on. We need the quality in our 11 and we need the depth. If those 3-4 things I said are not answered, and I hope I'm wrong, you can forget about Premier Leagues and all these things. That if nothing changes, nothing changes. The guy's not going anywhere. But there is an element of pressure. Everyone needs to deliver now. Because this is when, if they ain't already, when players start going, you know what, it's not going to happen here. I'm going elsewhere. The Salibas and them kind of players.
And Saka, go on, DJ, you can say it.
I was trying not to. But Saka as well.
I know he's your boy. I know he's your absolute boy, man.
I was trying so hard not to say Saka.
Well.
Mine was saying it.
I'd be gutted if he ever left the club. But yeah, no, honestly, it will start to happen if these players are not, if things are not moving and these players are not tasting. And Kenny,
especially now,
and I've said it in the past. You have to have a foundation. None of these players know what it's like, at Arsenal to go to a major final. Saka was on the bench at the FA Cup. What I'm trying to say is they need that. Whether they win or lose that final, they need to experience that moment, that final, that going there together, achieving that. And these players have not done that. That's why the Carabao Cup was so important last season, because it would have given some sort of building block and foundation and experience to go and taste another final. It might have pushed them on for that Champions League semi-final. You know what I mean, Kenny? I mean, do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
This team needs a title. I think what's happened, the mindset of some of our fans to talk about clubs being little clubs, it's because a team other than yourselves have won it. I'm sure if we won the League Cup or the FA Cup, we won the best competitions ever because we've won it, and people will be scrambling to get tickets at Wembley by any means possible to see anywhere. Press passes. stuff,
Press passes. Yeah.
I got you there.
Yeah.
Press passes. Like, on a serious note, this team needs as well. Let's not forget, I was at the League Cup final in 2018, and it was packed Arsenal fans.
Naturally.
It was brilliant.
That's what it's about. The fans need memory. The fans and the players need memories now. Them two in particular. I would say obviously Arteta and all of that, but the fans and the players now, because even the most loyal, even the most harshest of critic of Arteta that bought into everything, we're finishing second. At a point, you could see what's going on. We've now hit that roadblock. Last summer, I think if you genuinely were saying, you know what, fair enough, you're showing me something. That last summer and the season that played out, I think you've lost a lot of fans. And I say that for the whole club. I think you've lost them. I think everyone's on borrowed time. I think we've gone back into that weird spot of lip service, but not continuing. And Arteta and well, Berta ain't said nothing, but Arteta must know something because he keeps talking about goosebumps and we know what we need to do. But you have set yourself up for failure if it goes left. If you don't address the striker in left wing positions, especially, you've set yourself up for failure. And regardless, you're going to have to hold that and get over the line, regardless of what you got, because this is your team now. We can't keep saying, oh, the Conkies are not spending money and all of this. Everybody's in this together. Everybody's fingerprints at the crime scene.
Yeah, 100%. Zinchenko, there he is, man.
It's one of those. I wanted to ask you a little question, with Zinchenko. Well, first thing I want to ask about Zinchenko, he's been linked with Atletico Madrid, West Ham, etc. Do you lot think he'll actually leave?
I think so. I'm a little bit. This might come a bit of surprise. I feel sorry for this guy in a way, to be honest, because when he came to the club, he played left back and he played inverted at left back, and he started off pretty well. And you're thinking, very well. This is what we need: someone to control stuff and stuff like that. And then I always saw Zinchenko come to his best when he played international in midfield. And when I saw him invert from left back, I'm thinking, this guy looks comfortable. He's controlling the game. He's passing it. He's long. He's
very cultured and technically.
Yeah, he's very cultured. He's getting into nice little pockets. He's getting into nice spaces. And then I'm thinking, well, try him in midfield. And then I'm thinking, certain games, get him from that left back. Go put him in midfield. Go put him in a 10. Play Odegaard in the 8. Declan Rice in the 6.
Wenger would have done all of that.
I'm thinking, let's see what he can do in midfield. Let's give him a little run of games in midfield. Let's see what he can create. Let's see what he can do. And it never happened for him. The manager never really wanted him as a midfield player. He kept him at left back. Yeah, he kept him at left back, and then he went to the bench. Then he got injured and stuff like that. So he's had quite a frustrating time at Arsenal. So I think for the sake of him, if a team comes into him like West Ham, I mean, I can see him doing a good job for another team. If he plays,
they probably play him in midfield. I can't see West Ham. I can't can't see Atletico Madrid playing him left back. Simeone will go mad.
No. But what you'll see, DG, if you do see a move to Atletico and West Ham, and he plays in midfield, you'll be going, whoa, why did we sell this guy? He's going to be one of them sort of players, Football, when he does move on, you're going to be scratching your head thinking, we've made a mistake there. Why have we let him go? Do you know what I mean? So I'm a little bit on the fence with him. I don't think he's a disaster. I just think he's been misplayed, to be honest.
Fair. I think your time's gone, man. I agree with you in that. For me, you should just be a Swiss Army knife, Zinchenko. There's unpopular opinion. There's games for you at left back. Games where we don't have to do too much defending. Bob's your uncle. Go invert. Likewise, I think you could have played 10. I think you could have played in the 8, especially when Odegaard was struggling. It can't be for the technical level, the traditional stuff a midfielder is. It's got to be off the ball, to be fair with you. That's what I think is the issue with Zinchenko, rightly or wrongly. And I don't really care how much a man gets paid. It's not coming at, not that I've got however many thousands a week, but you're just earning too much money. It's time to go now.
Yeah, definitely time to go. Definitely time to go.
Yeah, it just is what it is, man. I know people don't want to hear it, but I think we need a defender or defenders. So you gotta go, Zinny, man. You gotta go. I respect your contribution. I think you are harshly treated for all of your mistakes. You're just not the guy, really. I wanted to ask you, completely off topic from Zinchenko. The Gyokeres and Sesko is one thing. It don't look like promising that we're getting Rodrigo. Nico Williams is going Barcelona. Where does that leave us? Because clearly you can't get, especially where left wing is concerned, you can't get them like world class, top class, 100 million plus signings. Do we have to then sign like a young player that can be molded? And if so, what does that mean for our challenge? Because it's still the young players developing tomorrow sort of thing. Surely, it's dark.
Well,
who's out there? The thing about it, there are players out there, but I think it's about whether they can make that transition. Because if you look at the say Trossard, he has fans, he has people who are neutral about him. He has people like me who just think that as well as he's played, he's just not good enough.
Squad player.
He's no longer good enough. We really need to get someone on that left-hand side. If I was to put forward and I said Lookman, people think, yeah, but
people turn up their nose at that, man.
He's played in the Premiership and he hasn't really made a tradition. He looks good in Italy, but in the league, when he's played at Fulham, when he's played at Everton, when he's played at Leicester City, has he really?
He's a young boy them times, though.
Yeah, exactly. So you made it. Then if I said Semenyo, you think, yeah, maybe, but
I'm not on it. I'd rather Lookman
make that transition. But if I was to tell you, look, Eze, but you say that Eze plays that position differently, that he won't offer us the kind of a Syrian pace of Martinelli, but what he will offer us is creativity, and he does get in the box and he will score important goals.
And he dribbles with his head up as well, can he?
Yeah, you'll take him, wouldn't you?
Eze, tomorrow, now, now, bring him.
Is he not a player, though?
Yeah.
Is he not a player?
He's going to have to become an Arteta player.
All right.
See, I don't see why not, to be fair.
I like Eze.
I see him defend and go backwards. You got that.
No brainer for Eze. Mitoma's another one. I like Mitoma.
You know what they're going to do, though. He's 28. We're not going to get him resale value. All that jazz.
I like Mitoma, but I think Mitoma could be similar to when Trossard came to the club. Could be very similarities to that. Yeah, I mean, for me, if you're going to get quality and the best, and you need to go to that next level, you shouldn't be looking past Eze, to be honest with you.
So the thing is that if you go for Eze, Arsenal fans have to be patient, because in terms of like, not patient in terms of his output. He's not going to give you Syrian pace. He's going to want to come in and be the extra midfielder. He's going to want to create. He's going to want to do his bit from set pieces, but he will score.
Sounds like music to our ears, man.
He will score important goals. You know, you will be frustrated. I don't think you'll be frustrated with him. You'll be frustrated with your manager, because you will be worried that the individuality will be coached out of him. Look what happened with Joey Cole. Look what's happened with Jack Grealish. What came first? Jack Grealish is, how do I say it, making a prat of himself and trying to be everyone's mate, or
Jack the lad,
or the individuality was coached out of him by Pep. What came first?
But Jack Grealish is another player that just likes playing football. He's like Declan Rice mould, isn't he? You know, I know Jack's got a bit of a reputation and bit Jack the lad, but he just enjoys playing football, and that's what he needs. He needs football, and I don't know. I rate Jack Grealish. I saw Jack Grealish when he played for Aston Villa and he rocked up at the Emirates, mate. He run the show. He completely run the show. And I thought, well, that is some player. And he has got ability, technical ability. He's got it all. But again, what you got to realise is that you've got a player like Jack Grealish and a player like Eze. And then you've got to look at the manager. And you have to look at the manager's personality and think to yourself, can he get the best out of them players? Can he actually?
I reckon he could with Grealish, you know.
You think?
I don't know why. I think he could. If Grealish buys into it, Grealish seems like
you got to remember, he didn't sign Ivan Toney because he had a so-called attitude. He let Aubameyang go. He let Guendouzi go.
Yeah.
And then you've got Grealish rocking up. I mean,
but then you're signing Kepa, who didn't want to get subbed in a final. I know it's not the same, so maybe there's something. Possibly. I don't know.
But this is what I'm saying. If he learns, see where he's been learning all the time. Every season he's been learning. This is what I'm saying. Every season this guy's been learning on the job. So if he's learned from his mistakes and he realises actually good players have an attitude. Good players need an arm around them. Good players look at Zidane. He had the biggest attitude you could ever have. Henry did.
People don't want to hear it, but Henry and Patrick Vieira.
Patrick Vieira, Henry, all good players, all great players, all good players have an attitude problem. It's how you manage them. And if this manager has not learned that, unfortunately, if I want to go far in my career or wherever that might be,
I need to get the ball
or anyone else, one of the things that he's got to look in the mirror and do is, I'm going to come across players with attitude, and I've got to learn how to handle it. And at the moment, he can't. That's why he's got a captain like Odegaard, because Odegaard don't cause him any problems. He sits in the corner. He's a good little boy. He does as he's told. He don't cause a problem. I can't imagine Odegaard coming in the changing rooms like Tony Adams and Patrick Vieira and getting someone up against the wall and challenging the manager. Odegaard ain't going to do that.
I mean, if you play for Arsenal and Odegaard grips you up and you have it, then I don't want you play for my team again.
No,
I like Odegaard.
Listen, Odegaard is a perfect captain for this manager because he
fits the image of Arsenal in the new look Arsenal.
You know what with the captains, the captains you're talking about, the ones with the big personalities. Doesn't it end in cheers eventually? When you look at what happened at Man United with Roy Keane. Roy Keane, everyone, when in his pomp, everyone thought Roy Keane was like an Alex Ferguson clone, and they were really close buddies. They loved each other, but it ended badly. He got kicked out of the club, and all they've done is slag each other off. Yeah. And I always say with these sort of characters, big characters, they're allowed to run the dressing room and say things off key when they're playing well. When they're needed, when they're not needed and they're still doing it, is a problem.
Yeah,
naturally.
And I say that of Aubameyang. It's not Aubameyang. You try to tell me apparently. His punctuality was great when he was playing well. Of course, it would have been terrible. His kind of off-field stuff that he loves to do, he still would have been doing it. But when he stopped being useful to Mikel, that's when the problem started.
Because you're not doing the job and you're taking the piss. Safe.
It's same with John Terry at Chelsea. When John Terry stopped being the John Terry, superstar, top centre half, and he started being fallible, but he was still being around, I'm Mr. Chelsea. You're only allowed to behave like that when you're useful. You're only allowed to be leader on the pitch and be the face of the club when you're useful.
Because you got an influence. I need to get you out. I would do the same, honestly, if I was a manager.
But the thing is, it's not always the same for these big captains. But if there's something in between where they're big personalities on the pitch, but off the pitch they're a nightmare to the manager, but the manager keeps it because they're useful, then there's a problem. Keno, John Terry at Chelsea, a bad end for us.
Trouble is with these captains, Kenny, they've all got credit in the bank. They've all won stuff. Odegaard ain't won anything.
Yeah, that's not that's enough when you're useful. When you're not useful, then managers and clubs even it out. They even things up. You know what I mean? It's time for them to collect and say, "Yeah, off you go, mate."
I just feel in certain games off the top of my head.
Newcastle for Norway though.
Newcastle Carabao Cup semi-final, Man United FA Cup, and even the PSG to some extension. You need a big captain. You need a big leader. You need sometimes someone on the pitch to just sort of rally the troops and just sort of say, "Look, we need to dig in here." Yeah, but the manager's saying we've got to play like, look, honestly, do you know what I mean? We need that influencer sometimes.
Real Madrid showed us Rice and Saka are on that a lot more because Rice was saying I'm going to shoot, Saka saying go for the shot. Exactly. Respect. I love Odegaard, but Odegaard saying cross it and listen to the management. Yeah, that tells me everything.
I can understand where I do take Kenny's point, and I do understand where Kenny's coming from, 100%. But I do feel that sometimes you just need a big influencer, and that's one of the reasons why. That's another one of the reasons why sometimes I think we've lacked. We haven't really had that big presence as a leader. And I know leaders are dying breeds now in modern day football. You ain't going to get your Tony Adamses and your Roy Keanes and all that anymore.
One reason only, mate. You know the reason. I said it, and we've said it. We've spoken back about it privately. As long as you've got managers like Pep Guardiola, Ruben Amorim, and Mikel Arteta, arranges.
Yeah.
Expand on that for the viewers, man. They don't understand.
All right, what I'm trying to say is that these guys have got a very, very, very clear way of playing.
Kevin De Bruyne used to argue with Pep all the time.
They've got a clear way of playing. They're very hands-on in training. They're very hands-on during the game where they're directing traffic. Like in the old days, a lot of managers, you had to work out for yourself. The great managers of yesteryear,
it's a Carlo Ancelotti thing.
In that category, you want to put the Liverpool managers in that category. You want to put Brian Clough in that category. You had to work out yourself. They let experienced players make their own decisions. But
now I need you to stand here all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So they're directing traffic. They're telling you where to run, when to run, and they're actually directing it. And you've all got insistence as well, telling you what to do. You know, Nicholas Jova, Declan Rice, you know, Newcastle, 90th minute. He's asking Nicholas Jova what to do at a set piece. He's an experienced player. He's played international football for 2 countries. He captained his club to a major European trophy because they're telling us the Conference League is a major trophy. West Ham is a major trophy. So he doesn't need Nicholas Jova to ask him about how to, what to do at a set piece situation.
Sometimes I believe if you feel it, do it. Like Real Madrid.
Yeah. But I've got other news. In other news as well, I don't know if you're getting it. I'm getting it on my phone. There's strong rumours, that Arsenal have agreed personal terms finally with Sesko. So these are strong rumours, and it's all over the internet. And people are doing what do you guys call it? Podcasts or streams? What you YouTubers call it? Whatever happens? It's hot off the press. It's hot off the press.
There you go. And that's what I've been saying. All this nonsense that we've been linked with Gyokeres is nonsense because this manager wanted Sesko. And he gets his own way. So there's no more excuses now. If he fails,
exactly what we said.
So there's no more excuses.
We can put the Gyokeres kind of exclusive to bed.
Forget Gyokeres. Should we see what's going on? Benjamin Sesko's agent speaks out on Arsenal deal. Forgive me for butchering this guy's name, but Elvis Basanovic clarifies transfer situation with Romano. Apparently, he's given an interview. What specifically have you said? Let me tell you, Sesko is not competing with anyone. It's him versus him every day. We have a clear plan for the future, and media speculation doesn't affect us. Sesko is not just a striker. He is a special striker. Well, his numbers at his age compared to some strikers with already great careers at his age are confirming my words. He will move from Leipzig only when we recognize a special club, a special project with a special coach. What else has he gone on and said? This is far from, when asked about Arsenal lowering the fee, this is far from the truth. We respect RB Leipzig, and I'm 100% convinced Leipzig will also respect our decision for the next step when we decide it. Even if there may be or will be a strong desire of the player to move to a certain club, we will never force or blackmail RB Leipzig. I believe this is not the right way because the way you actually exit from the club shows your value that you are bringing into a new club. I understand in very big transfers, there are a lot of different interests, but no matter what, I believe in football world, there should be more respect. So that's why we do things in the right way or we don't do them. It's very simple. Even maybe in the media, it looks very complicated. What are we saying, lads? Because I don't think I've learned anything there, really.
I think there's other, but I think what's happening, people off the press, because I'm getting on my timelines that everyone, especially Arsenal, and even generic, what I call the generic.
Lewis Kelly's agreed a new deal as well.
Yeah, but when it comes to generic, but I think Arsenal fans, I say it respectfully, I think Arsenal fans are more interested in us getting a striker where rather than whether a sure thing's getting their contract sorted. But it's hot off the press. Apparently, a lot of the YouTubers are saying that personal terms.
Yeah, but you know the YouTubers, man, they just latch on to anything party on Instagram.
They've put it out a few minutes ago. They put it out. So until someone's leaking something.
Kenny, until he's walking Win the Dog around the training camp, mate, I'm not going to believe it.
You know, with Arsenal, we had the same thing with Declan Rice, didn't we?
When he's taking Win the Dog out for a walk, I'll believe it. Then.
You know what happens, right? Is that we're all doubting Toms because things are slow at Arsenal. But history has shown that when Arsenal do, go for a player, if all the I's are dotted,
or David Orsi spoke on it.
So I assume that before Sesko's club into the club eventually, but he's definitely coming. Look, according to this.
Sources close to the club have denied that the player has an agreement with Arsenal or that a deal is close. There's still no complete agreement between all parties involved in the Benjamin Sesko story. The player, Arsenal, Leipzig. There's still nothing done in terms of a transfer fee.
I think people just ignoring the cautious approach, just thinking, yeah, let's go with it.
And apparently George Mendes has joined the Gyokeres case, so that means he's just going to make a nice little percentage of wherever the hell
George Mendes, I mean, what was he doing before? He was a bloody DJ before, wasn't he? Just shows you in football. You know,
you got to rate it then.
Hey, I'm not too funny. These agents come out of nowhere. I know one guy. One of my mates was working with him at one of the councils in. I think he's working with him at Lambeth Council, and I knew him very well as well. And guess what? He ended up being Newcastle's sporting director. I have a guy called Tony Fernandez. Yeah.
It's like
you know what? I might be in the wrong profession. I might have to do that as well.
It's like some of these content creators. They end up like top journalists, don't they?
I'm not joking. Tony Fernandez, when he was at Chelsea, all he was doing, he was a steward at Chelsea. He was translating. It was basically translating for the Hispanic players. And he became Newcastle's sporting director.
To be fair, the agent game is the right game. The amount of you can make is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
in
right
all fairness, though, if this Sesko does, I'll be relieved, man, because I'm like DG, and I just want someone in. I told, like I said earlier in the show, I'm at the stage now where I just don't want to see a midfield player playing up front as our main striker.
Facts.
I just want anyone. If it's Sesko, it's Sesko. Bring him in, see what he can do. We'll still get behind him, of course we will. Wouldn't be our choice, but when you're sitting there, you're going to support him. You're going to support him. But
his shirts, DJB. If he gets announced, it's highly likely he'll get announced. Trust me, mate. There'll be a lot of people making voyages to the armory to buy his shirts.
Oh, mate, the merch.
Yeah, you know how it goes, man. Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing this club gets right. You can go round and round and round and round the globe with signings, mate, but the merch, they pump that out ASAP.
Oh, the merch is unbelievable because
and it's actually nice clubber as well. Can't even lie, man.
Hey, there's no,
I don't know what our club has done to us.
DG, some of it, there's some horrendous stuff, man. Honestly,
yeah, some of it's horrendous, but when it hits, like, our training shit is nice.
There's some real.
Why change it every season? What's the point? Why do that for? Why?
Because people just love football, innit? It's an identity. We believe in it.
Back in the day, you did it every 2 or 3 seasons. What is the necessity to do it every season? You're conning fans.
At this point, fans are conning themselves, man, because we know what's going on now, rightly or wrongly. So if we're still doing it, can you really blame the club? Rightly or wrongly?
Well, the fact is that Arsenal's a global company.
And this is where it starts, and that's the problem.
And a lot of fans, the closest they can get to being at a football club is to buy the merchandise. And if you don't buy it, someone who loves you will buy it for you because they know you're a football. I've got shirts here. I've never bought an Arsenal clothing, but my mother-in-law buys me a shirt every year. Every year. I love them. I'm not because simple reason is that's how football is. Football, it's about printing money. If you can't win trophies, do the next best thing, make money.
Yeah,
I'd rather make money than win trophies more time, man.
Yeah, some clubs are like that. The clubs who can't win anything, but Crystal Palace have got a bit of a problem there. They didn't think they're going to win the FA Cup, but now they won the FA Cup and they now got a problem with Europe. They go, oh bloody hell. We realised that we're
sell shares or something like that.
Yeah, they've done well, Palace. He's done well, that manager coming in.
Any Rodrigo hope, lads?
No. Me personally, I wasn't really confident when everyone was being brandished with him. He's one player that I don't think he's coming. Definitely not. Definitely.
He wants to stay at Real. I think I'm convinced he wants to stay at Real.
100%. Why would you want to leave Real Madrid unless they make it clear you need to go?
Yeah, I think with Real Madrid, it's that a lot of players use other clubs to get a better deal.
100%.
You know, Ramos, where everyone was assuming Ramos was linking himself to Man United, but really
every day of the week, yeah,
he could get a better deal. Like, remember Ronaldo when he was at Real Madrid? He said, "What did he say? Yesterday I was happy. Now I'm sad. What happened? He got an improved contract with another few dots on it, few zeros on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this guy's gone.
Yeah, last thing before I let you look out of it, Thomas Partey looking like he's gone.
Yeah,
he's been linked with AC Milan, no new deal. Surely we can't afford that.
I'd have kept him. I'd have tried to keep him for another season. I think he's vital, really. You talk about squad depth and you talk about having players on the bench. For me, there's no better to come off the bench or
he's an awesome right back as well.
You know, than this guy.
I think what's happening is that you've got someone who's actually the only person who tactically, the only player we got, and it's not taking the mickey out of him. He's the only player I think that Mikel Arteta looks to and says, you know what, tactically, I don't need to teach this guy much. He knows what I want.
Yeah.
The fact that Mikel Arteta,
so I persist with him,
plays him at right back, know full well he will be able to still, I said, follow the manager's instructions. He's like, you should see the way Mikel's around him, and because I sit on sort of adjacent to Mikel Arteta. When I've never seen Mikel Arteta have a go at any party. He has a go at all of them. I've seen him have a go at even Odegaard. He normally has a go at the wingers because they're not backing up. But this guy, every time, win, lose or draw, he's always got his arm around this guy.
Yeah,
all the time.
This is his way.
This guy, for me, he should be given He should be given at least a year's extension. I know people are going to say, yeah, but the wages he's on and everything else. Listen, you try and replace him.
How much is it going to cost to find an upgrade?
Exactly. You try and replace him. You try and replace him. You know, and if we have Zubimendi coming in, is he going to be an adequate replacement for this guy?
And you're still short, even if it's just
know anything about
short in midfield.
You know, Zubimendi, guys, is for Europe. It's about because it's better teams who can dominate possession and can dominate the ball.
Yeah,
and keep
I made a comment to Matty yesterday, and I said the reason why they probably might be bombing him on is because they signed Marino. We signed Marino, so if you've got Zubimendi, Partey, and Rice, Marino ain't getting a look in. He ain't getting a shout above them. So at the end of the day, one's got to go. One's got to go, and they've looked at it and gone, Marino's got the longer contract. One's got to give. There's not enough room. There's not enough room for all four of them. That's the problem.
You know what, guys? I think when people say, what has Berta done in this club? What has he done in order to, change things or bring players in? I think getting this guy out is a Berta influence.
Yeah.
I think Berta wants to keep him. I'm not going to lie.
No, I don't think he's saying get rid of him, but in terms of what Berta's got to do, in terms of
balance the
books,
as
a director, he said, well, this guy, no, don't give it. You can't. We don't know how long this guy is going to be here. We're offering him an improved contract. He wants 2 years. We don't think he's got 2 years in terms of injuries. So Berta would have said, no, mate, no, Mikel. I know you've got a lot of time for him, but from a business point of view, he's going to have to go.
It's not making sense.
Yeah.
But are we, just so I'm clear, because I think you two have said it and I agree, like Partey goals were weaker, right?
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But he polarizes his opinion in the fan base.
This is where we've got ourselves into. We shouldn't be weaker now. For how much money we've had and for the money we've spent and for how long the manager's been in place, we should not be weaker when a player goes or a player's contract is ended. We should still be in a position where we're, okay, beggars can't be choosers, but we should still be in a position where if a player goes out the door, it's not affected us that much.
It's not the end of the world.
Goes out, it leaves a big gap.
Mate,
but this is the problem. Like we've known we've needed to do this with Partey. That's why I wanted the season Rice came in. I wanted Lavia because I looked at that as a Thomas Partey replacement. I think all three of us know this is an individual that has kind of not been forced out the club, but the club have been open to offers. It's only when the need for change is evidently at our door that we're ooming and ahhing like we need to do this. We should have done this a long time ago. So I'm at the point of Is what
but
it is.
the thing is that at the time when you look at Thomas Partey, before he got injured and before he hit the wall physically in 22-23, he was the best player in the league. He was the best midfielder in the league. He was out performing in Rodri.
Yeah,
and then injuries happened, and then he when he stopped, playing with the sort of like power. It wasn't. Everyone says it's because Saliba got injured. That's when we struggled. No, we struggled when Partey struggled. When Partey stopped playing well that season, that was a catalyst for us to go into freefall and surrender the league to Man City. If Partey was playing his best football throughout that season, we win that league. He was that important. Everyone talks about Xhaka being,
one season.
Xhaka's position. I mean, that's garbage. Partey, for most of that season, I spoke to a lot of Arsenal fans, and one guy who doesn't say this like, he said he was the best player in the league, and that was at Tottenham away in 2023 when we beat him 2-0.
I got a lot of time for Thomas, but
and that he said we were washing our hands.
Me
and him were in the toilets at Tottenham Hospital Stadium washing our hands, and the first thing he said, he's the best player in the league, Thomas Partey.
I don't know about best player, but he's top quality.
He's going to be hard to see him go. To be honest, I think he's I'd have tried to keep him, but there you go. We need players in through the door, though. We need some players in, man.
Tomorrow, today, now.
One thing we've got in our favour is that something's going to happen in the 23rd hour of the 1st of September. It's happening on the 1st of September, the 23rd hour. That's when we'll get someone in. Unfortunately, it won't be the player you want, and it will be a player that you'll look at and you'll say, I don't believe for 1 minute the club were looking.
There's always a
make sure you win a trophy, innit? Regardless, just make sure you win a trophy.
There's always a player.
There'll definitely be a loan signing. There'll be definitely a loan signing. I can see that.
Oh yeah, there'll be a last minute shocker where you just go, how on earth has he signed in? Why is he? I'll tell
Alberta Lesser that we need a proper winger, a proper striker, proper centre mid, probably a proper defender. Fair enough with Kepa. Yeah, I don't want to hear about loans in that. No.
Hang on here. You got to remember one thing. If you're at 11th hour, an injury occurs, or you can't get the player you need, but you for like I said, for sale, you can always say, right, let's get this player on loan, use him for a year, and see if we can agree to sign permanently. Arsenal done it before. They did it with Sterling.
Yeah, they've done it. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't want to hear that. Obviously,
I won't do it again, because if we don't get these players over the line and we only get two in, we're still going to need cover in the left.
God forbid, if someone gets injured on the 29th of August, then cool, you can do the loan thing if it's crazy like that, like them sort of circumstances. But
if we don't sign any player, we don't sign more than those two players, then the loan, well, that's what the loan thing's there for. You can't just ignore it. You've got to use it.
As long as they bring me a trophy, fair enough. As long as you bring me a trophy in May, there needs to be a parade in Islington. If there's not, heads have to roll. The writing's on the wall for whoever needs to go. Like, I don't know, mate. Let's just say, who knows? If we do win something, let's hope we get. I'm sure we'll get a million fans rather than the 250 million Spurs got last month. I hope so, man. Oh man, let's just hope we can do the business, lads. This has been a fantastic, 2 hours, man.
Big up, my friend.
It's been amazing.
Thanks,
Mine no, DJB. Let people know they can find you. I would say Kenny, but he's
DJB, the Arsenal Huddle. Just come along, see what you think. It's all good stuff. It is. All
when
good.
you next posting a video or anything,
streams and DG, do appreciate it as always, and always a pleasure to share with my man Kenny Ken.
Come on, shout out Kenny, man. He ain't called no one a ham road today. And they're disappointed.
Take it easy.
Thanks for having me on as well, DG, and I love being with DJB as well. You know what? I've always said that sometimes the speculation is better than the match itself. And
you keep saying that.
There's nothing to work with, i.e., no shows. Well, we just had 2 hours, and we haven't, and we've all we've done is talk about prospective fixtures, and
for about 45 minutes. Yeah, it's always it's amazing, isn't it?
We just bounce, don't we? We just bounce. We just bounce, Kenny.
It's a bounce off. However, we better get prepared because when the real business starts, Jesus Christ, the pressure on our team will be horrendous.
We've got at least 2 months, man. Let's enjoy these 2 months.
Enjoy your streams whilst you can, ladies and gentlemen, everyone on the stream, because when it kicks off in August, you're going to see some. What's that program about? You know that thing on the BBC One when they say about what about old men? What's it? What's that? Angry old men or something? What's that?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
They're angry old men. It's the angry old men.
Oh, we'll be angry, Kenny. We'll be angry outside that Emirates, mate. If we don't do the right thing and we end up falling by the wayside again. Right. If we have another season like we've been doing, I'm running out of patience.
I'll tell you one thing, right? I think if we do win the league next season, it'll be people just so shocked they wouldn't know how to celebrate.
No, I know exactly how to celebrate if we win that league. I've been waiting for this for a minute now.
I'm shocked because I wouldn't know because I've forgotten now what it's like to win the league.
Kenny,
I ain't seen it as an adult. I saw it as a child, so I wouldn't know either. But
when me and you are dancing in the streets, mate, till about 4 or 5 in the morning, you'll know how to celebrate it.
Yeah, man, you'll know how to celebrate.
I was at the Emirates Stadium when we beat Real Madrid 3-0. I didn't leave the Emirates till midnight.
No, we were hanging around. I think I said goodbye to you about 11:30, Kenny.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I just wanted to be around the stadium because I just couldn't believe.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. This is why we have to. This is why this manager has to do the right thing. And if he can't do it, it's time to go.
Yeah, right.
Facts.
Yeah.
Listen,
I think it's time to go anyway. I'd have changed him anyway.
Yeah. You checked out.
That's me. Listen. Yeah, no,
I'm at the point where just win me something this year.
I'm not. I don't hate him. I don't cussing him off. I just think
the barbecue, definitely, without a shadow of doubt.
Yeah,
they will
exactly.
be on the barbecue if we win the league. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
If we win the league,
listen, man, we're a long way off from that. I'm not even thinking of winning the league, mate. I'm just thinking.
This isn't even started yet.
I'm just thinking of getting more than 7 points in August, September, mate.
I'm going to leave something for the chat, so I was like leaving bombs for you guys, and yeah. Let this roll around your brain and you can run around with it and get frustrated and angry at me all you like. But the Premier League is levels and more better than the Champions League and it's 10 times more important. Now, go away. Let's end the show.
I would say yes, but the one I want is the Champions League.
As DJB said, I'm with DJB. The Champions League is defo over the Prem. Don't listen to Kenny. The Sun's getting to his head.
Premier League is the holy grail. Premier League is the one to win. Every season is the first one I look at. But if you was to give me a choice, because I've never seen Arsenal win the Champions League, and I'm fed up with these, and I sit above the away fans singing Champions of Europe, you'll never win that. I want that put to bed. I want that put to bed.
Exactly. We're one of the biggest clubs not to win the Champions League.
You can't sit at the big table until you win it. You can't sit at the big boys' table until you win the Champions League.
We won the league with 12 draws. I'm shameless. We need to win the Champions League.
4 of our opponents in the first 6 games have all won the Champions League. Nottingham Forest, Man City, Liverpool, and Man United all won the Champions League.
But you're telling us about Premier League. We need the champs.
Come on, Kenny. Come on.
The Premier League's still more important.
Kenny, I'll leave the chat. Yeah.
Come on, Kenny, man. We'll leave it there, man. DJB, Kenny, it's always a lovely one. You lot, let us know in the comments as we're closing out what you prefer, the Prem or the champs.
Yeah. Take it easy, brothers. Bless.
See you later. See ya. Bye.
Take care, guys.